When I started at Hunter Barth, there was a Selectric typewriter on every desk. There were no computers, there were no cell phones, there were no iPads, no tablets. It was handwritten notes and a Selectric typewriter.
Met Colleen in an interview over at the first office that I worked over at Brook Hollow.
I saw copywriter and I thought, where are they located? And it turned out they were 2 blocks from my house.
She came in as a copywriter. The funny thing is, we never had her do that job exclusively. In fact, it took many years before we had her writing things every once in a while.
I wasn't sure what I was really hired to do, but it was important.
She knew the ins and outs more than probably anyone at the agency at the time on how to make things work within an agency.
I had a little bit of background in a lot of different things, and I think that's what Wes saw in me, and he was probably afraid to tell me I wasn't going to be a copywriter right off the bat.
So that was, I think it's called bait and switch. I'm not sure she did it to us or we did it to her, but it ended up with over 3 decades of amazing performance and a great relationship.
I've known Colleen for about 21 years. Yeah, it's been a long time.
I met Colleen when I was interviewing 25 years ago, and back then you actually had to be interviewed and recorded for your interviews. And when I met Colleen, she was probably one of the most genuine people I had ever met in an interview.
Here's what I know about Colleen. Not only could our team, but our clients could always depend upon Colleen to deliver and to overperform.
She came up with some amazing programs for us, and she was kind of that go-to person for that special tag or that headline, or if somebody couldn't come up with an idea, she was that kind of go-to person. She wrote amazing copy. She was a great copywriter, and she still is.
I remember the first time that we did a production for Meta, and the day we kicked off their program, and watching her work with the many people that would actually become our clients later on.
And they were excited at the thought of having an advertising campaign that they could afford. And they were seeing all these different components of it, and they were seeing the strategies behind it. It was just a joyous time. And then all of a sudden the lights went low, and from the aisleways, here come the Laker girls, and they are up on stage and they are dancing to the dance version of the new Meta dealer jingle.
Y'all ready for this?
One of the other things that I was really proud of was a project that I worked on with Rochelle Ryder. And this was several years ago, and it was for one of her clients. The client was John Robert Powers.
She did the videos for them. She came up with the creative concepts and ideas, and she was always somebody that the agency could count on to come through, and she would not leave any stone uncovered. She would always think about the questions that you'd never think about that you had to incorporate in terms of video, with lighting, sound, content. She knew everything about video.
She always believes anything is possible, and as it turns out, I learned quite a bit from her about always be thinking in what could be next. So what she brings is a great example of how to make things happen for others.
She's always been very creative and outgoing and very personable. She always made me feel welcome, and continues to do that with all of our new team members.
I first met Colleen my first day of Orange Label. Her desk was right next to mine, so I got to spend my first few years at the company, really desk buddies with Colleen. So all of my experiences with her have been amazing, and she's definitely been a part of my growth and development here. I remember on the first day she talked about wild and crazy things, stories of when she was young, She talked about dancing, she talked about food, she talked about just all these wild things, and I thought, oh my gosh, I think I chose the right place to work.
I first met Colleen my first day here at Orange Label 2 years ago. She's my desk buddy, so of course I met her first, and she greeted me with such a warm smile that I was really excited that she was sitting behind me.
I remember she was super warm and welcoming. She wants to like come up and get to know you and find out who you are and where you're from and what's your family situation, and she's very like loving and nurturing and very genuine. She gave you that very warm welcome.
What I love about Colleen that I always remember is when she used to push there was a dance button and it would play music, and anytime something was big that we won or was successful, or even if it was just too quiet in the office, she'd push this button and music would play and she would dance up and down the aisles, and no matter what, it would just disrupt the day in a really awesome way.
I haven't known Colleen long, but she's made a big impression. I'd have to say the time that was most memorable was when she came into the office, and she, of course, makes her rounds and says hi to everybody, and she came over and saw our windbreens, and she did her little 60s dance with the windbreen, and that was just so memorable. It was awesome. She was really good.
She has this personality that can honestly just turn your day from, like, not awesome to super awesome, because she's just so light. She has this levity about her that just makes you smile.
She puts excitement in there every day, something unique. She says something that just gets everyone to laugh. That's always a good thing. And she also has masterful screen calling skills. So if anyone calls in, they have to get through her first before it gets to anyone else. So yeah.
You could be in the middle of a super stressful day and Colleen would come over and distract you for 15 minutes and talk to you, and you would come out of that with a more positive and maybe a lighter nature going about your day. It wasn't quite as stressful anymore, and she kind of put things into perspective. Not everything's all about work. You can pull yourself away from this stressful situation and just have a nice conversation with her, and it brightened your day.
I think the biggest thing that I've heard from Colleen over and over again is to know your worth, to not underestimate yourself, and to just approach things fearless. She's been able to tackle various challenges throughout her years that she didn't necessarily know how to navigate, and she did it all with success and energy.
If I could describe Colleen in one word, it would be colorful.
Exuberant. Colleen is exuberant in everything she does.
I would say Colleen is very spunky.
If I could describe Colleen in one word, it would be bright, because not only does that refer to her knowledge and wisdom, but also her personality. I feel like she has such a bright presence and brings so much light wherever she goes.
She's groovy.
Vibrant. When she walks into a room, it's just like light, like happy light, and it's so cool.
She is who she is, and she's not shy about that. She'll tell you exactly what she's thinking. And I like that about her. You're getting a genuine response, and she genuinely cares about people. She's genuinely concerned with what's going on in your life. It's not just like, hey, how you doing? And you don't really care what people are saying after that. She actually wants to know what you're saying after that.
I think she would give anyone here basically the shirt off her back, if that's what that was. So being selfless is probably a really good word to describe Colleen.
To me, Colleen is happiness.
Colleen is determined. On all of her projects that she worked on, no matter what it took for her to get it complete, she would do it. She was completely loyal to the project, to the agency, to the client, and made sure that everything was done at the highest possible standard that it could be done at. And so she really raised the bar for our agency.
Colleen is such a big personality. It takes 2 words. Unbridled enthusiasm. Quickly followed by unbelievable commitment. And then here is the one word, Colleen, as it relates to me, friend.
I think the reason why I stayed at Hunter Barth Orange Label so long was because no matter how we expressed our values, whether we said we were dazzling every time, or whether we showed dignity and respect in all situations, or whether we embodied powerful leadership, the core values always stayed the same. They never faltered. They were strong human values, the kind of values that we actually try to embody in our family.
Are you just... Gotta cut that.
Break.
It's already recording.
Trying to relax.
I want to tell you what.
All right.
Did I say a lot?
The Orange Label team, we are a very interesting bunch of people. We're all really different. Everyone is incredibly unique and cool in their own way. But we do have similar values. I think we all really value the work that we produce, and we're all incredibly passionate about what we do. And
That's weird, saying it just by itself.
Okay.
Don't let that distract you. How have you benefited from working at Orange Label?
I have benefited from...
Actual answer.
I don't know. Just tell me when to shut up. I'm done.
Don't use any of this.
I'm using all of it.
No.
That's great, because there's going to be an outtake.
Whatever they do.
So weird. Okay.
Tenure? It is the longest tenure I've ever been in. So Orange Label has been the longest tenure I've ever... The Orange Label.
Not at the...
I'm a great employee, I swear.
Oh, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay.
It wasn't. This place has been the longest I've been working. This has been the longest I've worked, is at Orange Label.
I have to scratch my nose.
I usually get fired.
I don't know. I'm kind of done.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. That was so fun.
She's super groovy.